Preachers use different techniques for determining the length of their messages. Most of them don't like you to see them look at their wristwatches. You know this. So they devise wonderful techniques. One minister wraps his wristwatch around his palm and has the watch inside. And every now and then he'll talk about the holy city and glance at his watch. The ones who keep them on usually wear them with the wristwatch on the inside of the wrist so that they can talk about over and over and over. And as they gesture that way, kind of like waves of grain at you, they can glance at the watch. That's a technique. The other one, they'll have a pocket watch kind of laid out on the pulpit, but some of them get fired up on stewardship or backsliding or something like that and have been known to just crunch a watch. They don't like to do that. Occasionally, the pastor will, like an old drugstore going out of business, will buy the Dr. Pepper clock with 10, 2, and 4 on it and hang it on the front of the balcony rail. That way he can see it, but nobody else can except the choir. And there you have to it's 6 and 1/2 dozen the other. The choir's tough enough to keep interested without letting them know how much longer you got to go. So you have to kind of weigh the possibilities. Now, I think the best technique I ever heard, I've just put a cough drop in my mouth. The best technique I have ever heard for this, a minister discovered quite by accident one day that a butterscotch lifesaver held between the cheek and gum and not sucked on, if you just allow it to go the way of all butterscotch, will last 22.5 minutes. So just as he would get up to preach every Sunday, he would clear his throat, clink one in, put it over between his cheek and gum, and get up and just fire one, fire two, and let you have it. When the cough drop ran out, he quit. Or the butterscotch, he stopped. Well, the congregation was absolutely mystified. All of a sudden, this fellow that had been running past 12 o'clock was letting them out at 3 minutes till, and they were in front of the Methodists at the cafeteria every Sunday. Many of you know how hard it is to beat the Methodists to lunch. I think sometimes they have church at the cafeteria. That's my honest opinion. Well, anyhow, this preacher started getting quite a reputation, not because he was a good preacher, but because he quit before 12. Why we don't learn that, I don't know. You could get bigger crowds if you just let them go. No matter what you said, they'll show up if you let them out. Well, anyway, crowds just getting their throng and almost having to have 2 services. They're getting so many people. And the folks are actually taking odds on him down in the men's Bible class. 3 will get you 1. They'll bet on what time he's going to let us out today. Of course, all the proceeds went to the building fund, so it was kind of Christian gambling in a sense. Well, it was just incredible. People coming just clocking him with stopwatches. The place was just a buzz and a twitter because he was letting them out on time. One Sunday, he was letting them have it, and he began to notice people in the church kind of nodding and rubbing their eyes, and then they're pointing toward the Holy Land and checking their watches. One older couple sitting over to his far right, your left, got out with hats and coats and got down low and started trying to sneak out. Nobody is more obvious in church than somebody trying to be inconspicuous. So they go crouching and sneaking, and he was kind of puzzled by that. Finally, back at the back through those little square windows and those flapping doors that let the church in and out, a lady from the nursery on tiptoes peeked through. Like, what are you doing? Now, a preacher has to be careful. When the nursery gets down on you, those little dudes could come in with us. And we want to be sensitive to God's leadership in this area. So, he makes a gesture toward the Holy Land and glanced at his watch, and it was 10 after 1. And he double-checked, and by mistake, he'd gotten a button in his mouth. You do want to watch that stuff.